Hello, Pinewood Scientists. Today I'm going to read a book to you called Iggy Peck, Architect by Andrea Beatty. And as I read this book, it's probably going to seem a little bit familiar to you because in third grade, you read the book Rosie Revere, Engineer by the same author. And in fourth grade, you read the book Ada Twist, Scientist by the same author. And the reason that you were reading those books in third and fourth grade was because I was hoping it was going to inspire you to be an engineer or a scientist, and your teacher read it to you right before the science fair. Well, today, the book I'm going to read to you called Iggy Peck, Architect, I'm reading it for the same reason, because I hope it inspires you to build and create and engineer cool things this summer out of materials you can find around your house. So I am going to read this story to you. Iggy Peck, Architect by Andrea Beatty. Illustrations by David Roberts. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed. "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past, and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built the St. Louis Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Dear Ig had it made until second grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say, she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" "No, ma'am," Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now second grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream, but they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. "We're trapped here! Oh my, alas, kids, goodbye!" Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge, dangling from shoestring suspension. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now, every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in 2nd grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. I hope you liked that story as much as I did. Part of the reason I liked that story and I wanted to read it to you guys is that it seemed like Iggy could build something out of anything he found. And since you guys are spending a lot of time at home right now and over the summer, you can build and create out of materials you find just around your house. You might make a table out of recycled newspapers. You might build a house out of recycled magazines. You might find a use for bottles and cans that are getting thrown out. You might go out and collect twigs and branches in your backyard and build something out of that. And so there's lots of ways you can be totally creative and find materials that are just laying around that you might want to build something out of. So I'm hoping that Iggy Peck inspired you to be like that. I also included today a cool website I found called Design Squad, and it has videos and building challenges and all kinds of ideas of how to be an inventor, a creator, or a builder. And so if there's a rainy day this summer and you're looking for something to do and you're not really sure what you should do, you could visit that website and try out one of their ideas, or you could watch like a quick video and it might inspire you to build something. So I hope you find that Design Squad is fun and useful over the summer. There's nothing that you have to turn in today. If you guys build something today or tomorrow or any day this summer, I am totally interested in seeing it. So if you can take a picture and you want to send it to me, your creation or your building, I would love to see it. I check my email all summer long. So I would love to see you guys being creators, designers, builders, all of that kind of stuff this summer. Those are great activities to spend some of your free time on. All right, I hope you enjoyed the book today, and I hope to see some of the things that you guys build and create.